Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I hope you're doing amazing. Can you hear me well? I'd love to know where you are joining from. I'd love to show you on screen as well. What time is it? Where are you joining from? This is going to be an amazing episode. I have someone very dear to me, very so special. This guy, Daniel Debbini, he has become a dear friend of mine. I actually consider him a dear friend of mine. I realized that I wanted to actually spend more time with him, and we're going to get into details as to what he went through when he switched jobs and he went from 120,000 bucks a year to 238,000 bucks a year. But there were more things that he was able to accomplish and other criteria that were super important for him. So I want to introduce him, and I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to keep this to at least maybe 15 minutes and give you as much value and clarity as possible. And for that, I need to welcome Daniel. Daniel, what's going on? Welcome. Thank you so much for being willing to do this. I appreciate it immensely. Where are you joining from, first of all?
I'm in Chicago. It's still dark outside. You can see. This is winter in Chicago. That's how you know.
Love it. Daniel, we've known each other for how long?
I don't know, since March, right?
Since March.
Yeah.
Since March.
Okay.
What
Wow,
happened?
8 months.
Who are you?
Yeah.
I want everybody to know the amazingness that I see in you, and I want everybody to understand what you went through so that they can potentially do it themselves, or they can at least take the first step toward taking action and starting to live their most amazing lives. So, who are you, first of all?
I'm just an everyday guy, Brian, just like you. Yeah, I mean, I've always had a passion for computer science. My mom was like a computer scientist back in like the 70s and 80s, so she's like printing out programs on like big sheets of paper, feeding it into a machine, waiting an hour, and then she like finds out there's a bug and she has to start all over, right? And like now she's jealous that I can just hit go and in 0.1 milliseconds get my answer. So yeah, I studied computer science in college and statistics. I thought I wanted to do finance. I did a master's degree to go into finance. I was there for over 9 years, and I was thinking, I really miss my days of computer programming. I remembered this class in college where I was like teaching Pac-Man how to play perfectly in an artificial intelligence course, which is now like more relevant than ever.
Back when? How many years ago was that?
This was in 2009. Is either 08 or 09 when I took this class.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before anyone was thinking about AI, I mean, the world stage, regular people were not talking about AI yet.
Right. Obviously very big in many circles, but no one knew what natural language processing was in like the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
But
what happened? And you went through finance 9 years. It took you a while to realize that you were not in the right spot. You went back into then what? Development?
Oh, I went. So I got into. I went to Google. I was on the food team at Google. So if you search restaurants near me, that was the group that I was in. So that was
wait. Let me. I want to emphasize this again, because every single time that I do this, I cannot stop but think about Daniel, who led this as a data scientist at Google. So you know how all of you here, you're looking for a place to eat, right? And you go on Google Maps or on Google and you say, restaurants near me. This was the guy. Wait, that's the guy.
I was one of many people working on that, but yeah, I was a data scientist.
So humble. So humble.
Which was really, really fun, right? Like, obviously, I mean, I love food and I love to eat, so yeah, that's great. Yeah,
I love it. And then, wait, what happened after?
Yeah, so actually, I was at Google for about a year and a half, and then I woke up one day, couldn't log in. Checked the New York Times. There's been mass layoffs at Google, and it turns out I was impacted. Yeah, my boss didn't know, her boss didn't know. But that's the way life goes sometimes, right? So you just got to think. You never know what's going to happen. You got to be prepared for anything, I guess. So actually, I ended up going to a startup, a video game startup led by Leo Messi. I don't know if you've heard of him, Brian, one of your favorite people of all
I
time.
think I think I heard of him once or twice.
Yeah, we were making like football, not soccer, football video games. And yeah, that was great. I learned a lot, but I wanted to kind of take on a bigger challenge. I wanted to really get more into like the engineering side of things and less of the analytics side of things. And so now I'm actually at Northwestern Medicine. I'm a machine learning engineer here, and I basically help our. It's a hospital system. We have lots of different locations. We serve lots of patients in the Chicago area and even internationally, and just trying to help bring machine learning and AI to solutions to the hospital. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
love what you're doing. It You're making a real difference in the world. Um, as you know, I lost my dad. May he rest in peace due to cancer, and you're working towards the, you know, finding the discovery, the solution to different diseases, right? So you wanted to find fulfillment. Can you walk us through what you went through to be able to find this career opportunity? What conditions were important to you? What you were able to find or learn along the way? Anything that was relevant to your job switching.
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, because you were there with me in the trenches, and I'm going to share with everyone. Yeah, but if you asked me, you asked me, oh, what's like, if you asked me like, what's your dream job conditions, I could tell you, but I didn't think that was like reasonable to go for.
Why?
But
Wait. Why?
yeah, why? It just seems so like far-fetched. You hear a lot about, oh, it's very difficult to change jobs. The industry is like for example, the tech industry is not in a great place right now. Obviously, lots of mass layoffs. I explained how I was impacted at Google. I mean, I had friends at lots of other very big tech companies also see layoffs happen to people next to them, get laid off themselves. So to think like, oh, I'm gonna like say, I really want great work-life balance. I want to love my job. I want to enjoy my coworkers. I want to work from home. It felt like I couldn't ask for that. It felt like I had to say, well, I'll just take what I can get. Right.
Just be happy to have a job, maybe in these
Right.
market conditions. Okay.
Right.
And
But
then what happened? And then what
yeah,
happened?
then I met you. Is what
How?
happened.
Wait. How did you meet me? Like, I want to know everything that you went through, even myself,
Yeah.
because sometimes there are just so many details. How do you meet me? Like, you stumbled upon anything that I posted? Someone recommended? What did you go through?
Yeah, I was on LinkedIn a lot because I was looking at just opportunities, and I was also reading a lot about people's experience changing jobs and also just keeping up with my industry. And your posts popped up a few times, and I remembered, oh, I like the way this guy talks. And I liked what you were saying about, what you said almost sounded too good to be true. I love to use that phrase.
Sure.
So I was like, how is this guy? Is this guy serious? Like he's helped a lot of people kind of switch jobs, put themselves in a better like situation, I think mentally, emotionally. So I reached out. I just reached out, just a cold LinkedIn DM. Hey, Brian, looks like you help people find new jobs. I'd love to learn from you. Like, how does it work? And I think you responded in about 10 seconds. It was really amazing. And yeah, we exchanged a lot of messages. We got on a phone call, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. The rest is history. You're going to hold on 1 second. So going back to this too good to be true, that you felt that I didn't know that you were feeling that way. Um, you you were about learning our strategy, which we share openly for other people to learn from. And then you went to your father-in-law, Ira. Hey, Ira. I hope
Yeah.
he actually watches this. Who I had the pleasure to meet at Daniel's wedding. We can get into that in a moment. But Ira agreed with Daniel. If it sounds too good to be true, it must be too good to be true. No, something like that. What did he say?
Mhm. Yep.
What
Yeah,
did you
that's
ask
just
him? How did you bring this? I mean, you trust him a lot, So what did you ask him?
I was asking him, like, what do you think? Can this guy help me? He says he can get me a better job for, with better job conditions, doing the kinds of work I want, doing in an industry that I want, making a difference. And he said, yeah, it sounds great. Sounds too good to be true. So it sounds great.
So for about a week, we just kept in touch. I think that we just kept in touch, right? Like every couple
Yeah,
of days, just to see that if you were making any progress, right? And I guess
yeah.
after a week, you realized, no, I'm not making any progress, so may as well just give it a shot. Something like that. What went through your mind?
Um, I I typically don't like to make very like quick or
Hmm.
rash decisions.
Yeah,
So if I really like something, I think to myself, sleep on it. And if you still want it in like a week, maybe that's like a better sign. So I couldn't stop thinking about like our interaction and just the more time that had passed and our interactions that we had over that week were very uh, just let me know you better. And I realized, oh, I really like this guy. Let's do this. Like
I appreciate
I
it.
felt like with you um by my side, I couldn't fail. That sounds so corny,
No,
but
I
that's
love
how
it,
I
dude.
felt.
Like
Yeah.
I'm going to print it. I'm going to frame it. Okay. um, yeah. One of the things that I've learned about myself over the years, and this I don't want to make it about myself, but I want to share this, is that I'm not here to try to rush people into making any sort of decisions. Like this is a real commitment, right? Like switching jobs. You probably have heard anyone here watching right now, or if you watch this replay later, switching jobs is a job in itself, or searching for a job is a job in itself. So there has to be a real commitment from both sides. So how can I expect someone to make a rash decision if they're not ready, if they don't know what they're getting themselves into, and so on and so forth? So it does take a bit of time for people to really embrace and go for it. So I'm not here to rush someone. Some people want to go fast and they're like, no, I know exactly I want to do this. And some people want to go slow. And my job is to really adapt to people's pace, right? Okay, so now if we can be, or if we can, so this was a little bit of context for people to understand who you are, what you were able to accomplish, where you were at before. Now, what did you actually do to be able to, I mean, let's call it out, land a ton of interviews. I will let you say all these things, but land a ton of interviews, receive multiple job offers. You're going to share how many, and obtain finally, which is the most important thing, obtain the job that you wanted, the career opportunity that you wanted with the job conditions that you wanted. So, what did you have to do more specifically to be able to make that happen? And how long did it take, and so on and so forth?
Yeah. So there's obviously you have to be qualified for these jobs, and that takes a lot. But then there's there's the act of applying and interviewing itself, which is its own world and its own skill, as you know, because you're the one who taught me all this. And you know, marketing yourself, like the resume itself, that's marketing yourself, and interviews, that's selling yourself. It's marketing and sales, but it's just a different type. And I had to learn how to do that basically. And I learned from your system. So what's
Let me
very
ask you a
interesting.
question.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
were
go ahead.
accomplished. You used to work at Goldman Sachs, then you worked at
Yes.
Google. So you were
Yeah.
really accomplished. You could have been, but you have a very humble personality. I love your personality. That's why I said if I was actually living in Chicago or if you were living in Toronto, I would totally hang out with you. I would totally see you every single weekend. I love your personality. So you are a very humble person. So is it difficult for someone, or was it difficult for someone like you to market yourself, to sell yourself, to speak proudly of what you had accomplished, or what was the challenge before, maybe during this process? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to. I'm also an introvert. It's hard to meet lots of people in a short amount of time. It's nerve-wracking, and you learn through doing, you learn through practice, but also just having the confidence to know, okay, I'm gonna show why I think like I can be an asset to this organization. I'm gonna lead with things that I know I can bring every day like a positive attitude and a big smile and try and keep everyone motivated and just really make that come through. And the way I got less nervous in talking to people like on a first phone interview or something is just really trying to get to know people. I used to be so scared, like, okay, I'm gonna get to this interview and I'm just gonna sit there waiting for an answer like a contestant, waiting for a question like a contestant on like a quiz show, right? And the answer, I buzz in and then I give them the answer and then I wait for the next one. And that's miserable. Of course, that would be terrible. But once I realized, oh, I have lots of people I can meet and learn from and learn about their experiences, and almost don't even treat it as an interview, just treat it as meeting someone new in your industry that you can talk to and learn from. And a lot of the nerves melted away. And that was like really crucial for me.
That's awesome. So 5 job offers, 4 of them came in the same week, right? Some people are like, what do you mean 4 job offers in 1 week or 5 job offers in a short period of time, right? Like the whole process was 5 weeks long. Correct me if I say anything that is wrong, okay? 5 weeks long. You only started applying
After 2 weeks.
after 2 weeks, right? Why? You were preparing your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your interview skills, your negotiation skills, your job application strategy on how to actually land these interviews. But the crazy thing about you, Daniel, is that you actually, so I don't want to say these things because I know them, but I want you to share because otherwise it seems too good to be true. How many, if you remember, how many jobs did you apply to? The exact number. Do you remember?
I think it was 111 I
No,
applied to.
wrong.
113.
Just like in a game show. It's close. 109. So
109. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
it is.
109 job applications. Which how long did it take you to apply for these 109 jobs?
That was 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours.
Insane. So for anyone watching, you're like, what do you mean 2 hours? Yes, he literally sat down for 2 hours one night and he applied to 109 jobs. Period. And then fast forward. Let's not fast forward all the way until the end. We're going back and forth for those of you watching. We're all over the place here, but there are just so many details. The very next morning, what happened? You woke up. So you applied to these 109 jobs, right? And then the next morning, what happened?
Yeah, that was Sunday night. I woke up Monday. I had 8 interview requests in my inbox, and then I had a lot of LinkedIn messages actually for other opportunities, like recruiters reaching out to me. So at that point, like my time was spoken for, and that's how the 3-week whirlwind started, right? Where I was interviewing a lot for the next 3 weeks, and that's how all the offers kind of coalesce at the same time, because all the processes started roughly at the same time.
Amazing. Now tell me something. Going way back, before we met, had you been applying for jobs, or you didn't even attempt to apply for jobs because you read the news, like the market was so messed up, or what was your experience before?
I was applying a lot. I applied for, I think, around 40 jobs. I ended up getting, I think, 4 interviews. All of them, I got, there was one phone screen, and then I didn't make it past the round. So I felt pretty stuck. Yeah.
Why now, looking back, why do you think that was? Because I mean that was not long before we started working together. Something
Mhm.
must have changed in the way that you communicated. I guess you gave yourself that freedom to and that shift of mindset to approach relationships differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
you
mean,
were, yeah, tell me more.
it sounds silly, right? But it's a complete mindset change to just, and like you said, Brian, you say you share openly how this
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely.
It all sounds like super common sense. So you think, okay, what, like this, whatever, I could do this on my own, and you can, but very few people actually sit there and like follow their common sense thoughts. I'll tell you, like, the biggest change is just how I sounded in the first interview, and the way I the fun anecdote I have is my fiance at the time, now my wife, because you were at my wedding, my fiance was sitting in the kitchen, and I was with my door closed on the phone doing an interview. This is after we had talked, and she said, what was that? What was that call? I said, oh, it's an interview. She goes, that was an interview? I've never heard you sound so happy on a phone call before. In every other interview that you take, you always sound so scared and sad. So like literally like my fiance in the other room could tell like night and day just how excited, the difference in how I was portraying myself, how I was excited to be there and happy to be there. I think, and those things, I mean, if you said, hey, Daniel, when you go into your next interview, I want you to be happy to be there. That's common. That might sound like common sense, and everyone's like, yeah, obviously, but how many of you actually do that? Because I know I wasn't, which is my own fault. But once I realized, hey, like I should be happy to be here. This is exciting. And just letting that natural excitement show through. Like, I'm so happy to be talking to you. Like, this is awesome. I looked at this job opportunity. It's amazing. It aligns with my interests. I think I can add a lot of value. Like, how did you end up here? Like, what do you like about it? And that's how you start building like.
So to point out for those watching now or the replay later, I don't know if you noticed, it's very subtle, but Daniel also took control of the opportunity, of the experience. He created an experience for them, right? Like by asking questions, by showing genuine interest, curiosity, and wanting to build a meaningful relationship with the other person, he was able to create an experience for them, which in turn created an experience for himself, right? Yeah, agree?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to talk to a brick wall, right? No one wants to talk to a brick wall. And I realized I was a brick wall in every interview. I was just sitting there, and then, okay, if you say something, I respond, and then I just sit there waiting for you to ask me another question.
It feels like a traditional interview for those of you watching. Hopefully this resonates. Traditionally, interviews feels like this. They ask you a question, you answer. They ask you a question, you answer. They ask you a question, you answer. And then they ask you, do you have any questions for us? But if that's what your experience feels like, you're doomed to fail. Yeah, eventually you will end up getting a job offer, but you will never be able to stack up maybe 5 job offers like Daniel did, right? So you need to create an experience for them and then for yourself. So you need to take control. You need to find things in common. You need to make them feel comfortable so that they can make you feel comfortable. Anyway, there's a lot more to it. I always try to be very careful, Daniel, with the things that I share openly, because people might think, oh, so it's as simple as just going with the right mindset. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but it starts with having the right mindset for sure. But there's so much more, right? You would agree? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we kind of gloss over this, but I spent 2 weeks preparing before I made one application, right? And those 2 weeks was a lot. I spent a lot of my free time, learning, honing my negotiation skills, practicing interviews, updating my resume, updating my LinkedIn, actually doing soul searching of what do I actually want? What am I going to be looking for in my next role? So there was a lot of work that went into it before I started applying.
I would love to invite anyone watching to ask any questions. I know that we are running out of time. Actually, we meant to do this for only 15 minutes, but I do have another meeting coming up, and Daniel is busy working as well. So I want to be respectful of his time, but I want to invite you to ask any questions that you have, and then either Daniel or myself will reach out to you and we will reply to every single one of you asking any questions. And feel free to send connection requests, to DM us, and just happy to contribute, to provide you with clarity. Now, there's a reason. Actually, there's something really interesting. Daniel had a comment to me earlier. He knew that he was going to come here, which I appreciate immensely. And he was like, I'm surprised that you didn't put on the big banner that I went from $120,000 to $483,000. Okay. And Daniel, one of the job offers that he got was for $483,000, the total compensation. Okay. To be fully transparent and clear with you. He was making $120,000. The highest job offer out of the 5, the highest one was $483,000. Now, Daniel was surprised that I didn't use the highest number, that I actually shared the 238,000, which is the one that he ended up accepting. And there's a reason behind it. First of all, Daniel didn't accept that one. And what I would love is to find people like Daniel, people who actually, professionals like yourselves, hopefully watching, people who actually value life more than money. Money is great, but life is more important. Especially Daniel, he was about to get married. And one of the things that he learned, again, Daniel, please feel free to correct me about anything. One of these opportunities, amazing opportunities, like these were all amazing opportunities, but one of them didn't provide any work-life balance. Now, let me ask you a question, Daniel, and everybody watching. Was work-life balance one of the big factors for you? Did you want to have work-life balance, or did you actually want to work 12, 13, 14 hours per day?
Yeah, I mean, it was important to me. Yeah.
Important to you, right? So through these interviews and being able to be in control and being able to gain insights as to each one of these career opportunities, Daniel was able to learn that one of them, or one of his bosses, was working about 65 to 70 hours per week. So you assume, right, Daniel, if your boss is working 65 to 70 hours per week, what will be the expectations from you? Is that the reason why, one of the reasons why you discarded one of these opportunities, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Besides that, what about fulfillment? Right? Like, look at what Daniel is doing right now. He's making this world a better place. He might actually have contributed to the cure or finding the solution to someone's disease, maybe one of our loved ones. And even if it is not one of our loved ones, the world at large is becoming a better place because of Daniel, right? So, and Daniel, do you work at the office right now? Do you go hybrid, fully on site, or
I work from home. Yeah, that's right.
what? One day a week?
Every day. But you're really I feel bad. I'm not I am one small piece in the organization, right? That's
Of course, of
But
course, of
yes,
course.
I work at a hospital system, so it does feel good to contribute towards like improving patient care in my city. That feels very tangible. Like that feels very good in a way that like working in finance never did for me personally. But
Absolutely.
you know,
Now, your job, if you're watching, is to think about the type of life that you want to live and the type of work that you want to do. What are those job conditions? There's no too far-fetched, like Daniel was assuming, like, oh, in this economy, in this market, I might be too greedy, like wanting these job conditions. I should just be thankful to have a job. Not really. There are a lot of career opportunities, a lot of them, but you need to be able to land the interviews, convert them into job offers, truly stand out, differentiate yourself from everyone else, and then be able to negotiate and select the best job for you. The best thing that you can do is to have multiple options in front of you, so that you can choose the best one for you, just like Daniel did. Daniel, any final thoughts? I would love, if it's okay with you, eventually, sometime in the future, maybe we can answer all these questions that people will have for us and we can address them. But I would love to have you again. But any final thoughts, anything that you want to share with people before we say goodbye and we tell them where they can get started to start to understand how to go through this journey just like you did?
yeah, it's hard to know what to leave you with for final thoughts. So I will just say that as you could tell, I'm kind of an open book. So I mean, feel free to message me, message Brian. I don't know if I was allowed to offer that to everyone, Brian, but
Yes,
message
yes, absolutely.
Brian,
Of course. Yeah,
talk,
100%.
message us, ask us
Yeah.
questions.
We're here to
I'm
make the
happy
world
to
a better
answer.
place.
Yeah.
And all it takes from you is, those of you watching, is take action, right? Reach out, ask for help from others who have already figured out the path, right? We have already solved this path. Daniel is one of more than 1,000 senior tech professionals who have been able to switch jobs with his desired job conditions. So reach out to Daniel, to me, to both, but reach out. Don't get stuck. Don't just accept that you have to live the life that you live right now, or to have the career opportunity that you have to have it. No, aspire to more and take the right actions to be able to get there. First have clarity, and then we'll reverse engineer to be able to go from point A to point B. Okay, Daniel, listen, you have to jump to your things. I appreciate you gave us 15 minutes more than we had planned. I have to jump to another meeting, someone who wants to work with us. I leave for everybody else. If you want, over here, I will leave this. You can go to switchjobsnow.com for anyone who wants to start to understand what was this journey, what did it look like. And you will find Daniel there at the bottom, somewhere in the page as well, talking more about this, what he went through. Just feel free to go there and let's start to build a long-lasting, healthy relationship. As I mentioned, or as Daniel mentioned, I actually attended his wedding in Chicago, even though I don't live in the city. That's the friendship, the kind of close relationship that we've built. And those are the kinds of special relationships that I like to build with my people. So, Daniel, you're amazing. I appreciate you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
On to the next one. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
Everyone, I will leave you here with this, and I will see you on the next one. Okay? Cheers.